So this video is for absolute beginners only, or if you are at a level where you're still making those mistakes where you sort of get entangled with using either sine or cosine to resolve your forces. And what I'm going to do, this is coming off the back of a few comments where there are people who would want me to break this down even slower. So I'm going to do just that. I'm not working with any set question. This is me breaking down the concept fully for you to get the full understanding here. Okay, so what I'm going to do to begin with is just use this axis, this vertical and horizontal axis, as my reference, and I'm going to go through each quadrant and I'll add a force. So for example, if I'm to add this force right there, I'll make that force say 30 newtons, and I'm gonna put this at an angle of, let's use 60 degrees. So what you would be required to do is to find the vertical and the horizontal force components. Now what you perhaps can start with, if using this here, where if we're finding the vertical component, we say it's force sin and then the angle, and if we're finding the horizontal component, we say it's force cos and then the angle. If that bit is still an issue for you, then what I'm going to do is peel it right back to where it all started, and this is it. So if you can imagine this 30 newtons, and I'm going to draw this dotted line right here, and that's representing a vertical line. And if that vertical line meets this horizontal line, which I'm drawing right there, and let's say your unknown this time around is this, which is that VC for vertical component, what you would tend to do is treat the force as one of the length for the sides. So for example, that 30 newton, it would represent right here, that hypotenuse. And I hope you can see this as a right angle triangle, because that's what it is. The right angle is right there in the corner where our vertical and horizontal meet. And so the hypotenuse is that 30 newtons. And let's say now we need to find the vertical component for that. So what we would do is treat that VC as the opposite side. So this is now our, I'm going to write in white. So that's our opposite side. And that's the unknown. So that's what we don't know. And this side is our hypotenuse, as we've said before. And that's the side that we have. So if you go all the way back to this what you will find out here is that we're interested in the opposite side, which is what we want to find, and we already have the hypotenuse. So what that means for us now is we would do sine and then the angle, which is 60, equals the opposite, which is our unknown. I'm just gonna put VC, which is the vertical component for the unknown, and over the hypotenuse now, which is our 30 newtons. And because what you're finding is VC, when you solve this equation now, VC is just going to be equal to the 30, which is the force, and multiplied by the sin 60. And that's how we end up with the force sin angle or force cos angle. Because if we were to apply the same logic to the other side, to our adjacent side right here, so that's our adjacent, then using the hypotenuse, we would have the hypotenuse, so that would be checked off, and the unknown this time would be the adjacent. So what we would end up with now is cosine, so cos the angle, equals the adjacent, which is the unknown. So our unknown is now the horizontal component, and over that hypotenuse, which is the 30. So what we end up with now is HC equals 30 multiplied by cos 60. And once again, that's how we end up with this here and this here. And we can apply the same thing in each quadrant. So if you want to see the other quadrant, just please leave a comment for me to know that yes, we would like to see that other part. Or if not, if this is sufficient and you understand, then just give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.